अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपिनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद विराज गोवर्धन भगवद गीता यथारूप। हरे कृष्ण। तो आज हम 18 श्लोक से डिस्कस करेंगे। कुछ हमने कल डिस्कस किया है, उसको ऑन करके इसको ऑन करना। तो वाले हैं, परंतु आत्मा तथा परमात्मा की यह समानता उन्हें मात्रात्मक दृष्टि से समान नहीं बनाती, क्योंकि वैश्वी आत्मा किसी विशेष शरीर में उपस्थित होता है, किंतु परमात्मा प्रत्येक शरीर में है। कृष्ण भावना भावित व्यक्ति को इसका पूर्ण ज्ञान होता है, इसलिए वह सचमुच ही विद्वान तथा समदर्शी होता है। आत्मा तथा परमात्मा के लक्षण समान है, क्योंकि दोनों चेतन, शाश्वत तथा आनंदमय है। किंतु अंतर इतना ही है कि आत्मा शरीर की सीमा के भीतर सचेतन रहता है, जबकि परमात्मा सभी शरीरों में सचेतन है। परमात्मा बिना किसी भेदभाव के सभी शरीरों में विद्यमान है। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। वन्दे श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतां श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीगुरुं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण।
आध्यात्मिक बोल रहे कि हिंदी में थोड़ा समस्या आना।
So the translation of this shloka, we are discussing 5th chapter 18th shloka. Translation is: the humble sages by virtue of true knowledge see with equal vision a learned and a gentle brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. So in today's shloka, in yesterday's shloka we saw that how a person who has fixed his mind on God, how he becomes capable for liberation. Not only his mind, but his intelligence, his faith, the one who accepts God as his only shelter. So the consequence of that is when we accept God as our only shelter and the object of meditation, the consequence is that Lord gives the assurance, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna gives the assurance that one will not return to this mortal planet. Lord Sri Krishna says here that Gacchante na punar Gacchanta apunar avritim. In the last shloka we see, the Supreme Lord said that one who has fixed his mind and intelligence on the Supreme Lord Krishna, he will not return to this planet. Now, in this shloka, in today's shloka, Lord Shri Krishna here he mentions that such a person with an equal vision. So, how one becomes capable of liberation by fixing the mind on the Lord? The practical manifestation of that is he develops an equal vision towards all living entities. He develops an equal vision towards all living entities. A sense of equanimity, which is being emphasized here, which makes him qualified to attain liberation. The sense of equanimity. How? By focusing our mind and intelligence on Lord, the devotee develops a sense of equality. How these two are connected. This we will understand today. When we focus our attention towards Lord, when we focus our faith and attention towards Lord, then since the Supreme Lord is beyond the modes, the Supreme Lord is beyond the three modes of material nature. So the devotee also, he transcends the three modes of material nature. Any discrimination which we make on the platform of body, this is because of the influence of the three modes of material nature. That's why we discriminate between different living entities. So when the living entity comes in under the influence of the three modes of material nature, then what happens? He starts developing a dual vision. A dual vision. Dual vision means happiness and distress, honor and dishonor, rich or poor, high or low. This kind of duality comes when when we start when we get influenced by the modes of material nature. So since the Supreme Lord is beyond the modes, the devotee in contact with the Supreme Lord also starts transcending the modes. Now the influence of the modes reduces the influence of the modes reduces to the proportion we become attached towards the Lord. The degree we become attached to the Lord, um, our attachment towards the modes reduces. In the highest stage, they see that in the material bondage, nobody is in goodness. Everyone is in trouble. So material calculation that this is good, this is bad, this is happy, this is miserable. In the transcendental position, they think that they all are equally. This shows that Lord doesn't make any discrimination of good or bad. So when we get connected to Lord, we also stop making discrimination on the bodily platform. The Lord doesn't make discrimination. No? So when we get connected to the Lord, we also develop the quality of God. So we also stop making discrimination on the bodily platform, and we become some, and we is given as a all the entities and all everywhere. Right? So it may happen that somewhere at some part of the land there may be many wild animals or poisonous animals. It may happen. We cannot blame the rain because the rain is falling equally on places. But somewhere there are poisonous plants or there are poisonous insects or poisonous animals that are developing. This is because there are animals there who are utilizing the same rain to develop poison. Indirectly, we are putting the seed or putting the foundation of a new body. So here it is said that when one develops an equal vision, then his actions doesn't lead him to another body. Developing an equal vision doesn't implicate an individual into another body. So here it is said, Jita, he wins Sarga. He wins over this cycle of accepting new and new bodies. So he wins over the cycle of accepting new bodies. Yesam samya sthitam manah. Ihav tayr jitah sargo yesam samya sthitam nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te sthita. So he becomes as good as the Supreme Lord. Samam Brahma. Nirdosham hi samam Brahma. His existence becomes completely purified when he develops an equal vision. One thing is he wins over the cycle of accepting bodies. Another thing is he becomes as good as God. He becomes as pure as God. Samam Brahma. Nirdosham, because he becomes nirdosh. There is no fault. Yesterday we discussed. Nirdosham hi samam Brahma. Tasmad Brahmani te sthita. He becomes situated in the eternal reality. Because he doesn't have any attraction or hatred towards matter.
So he's flawless. He's impartial. There is no flaw because he doesn't has any attraction or hatred. So there was an instance where Vishwamitra appeared in the court of Dashrath Maharaj. In Ramayana it comes. So when Vishwamitra appeared in the court of Dashrath Maharaj, then Dashrath Maharaj inquired from Vishwamitra, Ahistam yattam punar janma jayaya. Dashrath Maharaj inquired, is everything going well in your endeavor to conquer the repetition of birth and death? Because Vishwamitra is a sage. So what is expected from a sage? A sage is a sage. Nobody expects a sage to be busy in some material affair. So it is expected that a sage will be very busy in his endeavors to win over the cycle of birth and death. So Dashrath Maharaj inquired from Vishwamitra that how is your endeavor going on to win over the cycle of birth? Punar Janma Jayaya, he asked. Dashrath Maharaj asked. So similarly, in this shloka also it is said that how one can, the whole philosophy of Bhagavad Gita is towards this single goal, that how one can win over this Punarjanma, the cycle of accepting new and new bodies. And that can happen when we develop a sense of equality. And that how one can develop a sense of equality? When one goes beyond the three modes. Because till the time we are there in the three modes, we will see everything in respect to the three modes. So how we can go beyond the three modes? By focusing our attention towards the Lord, because the Lord is beyond the three modes. This is the thing. But as far as the modern society is concerned, we can see that in the modern society, contrary to the Vedic society, the modern society is busy in accelerating death. Any hot death is there, everybody is going to die. But the whole attempt of modern society, the technological advancement and manufacturing atom bombs, missile weapons, 80% of the world scientists are engaged in making weapons. So the whole effort is to accelerate death. Why people are busy in making weapons? Anyhow, death is going to come. Why we are so anxious to accelerate it? Making weapons means what? Accelerating death. The attempt should be to stop death. But instead of trying to stop death, people are trying to accelerate death on the name of peace and world harmony. People are busy in accelerating death. So Srila Prabhupada said, advancement of science is to accelerate death. The scientists say, oh, death cannot be conquered. Set aside. Let us prepare atomic bombs so that death can be accelerated. This is scientific advancement. Formerly, people used to think of how conquering death, but at the present moment, they are thinking accelerating death. And this is called advancement of civilization, accelerating death. So this cycle of changing bodies. So why one is forced to accept new and new bodies? Because we are attracted to material enjoyment, right? That's why we are forced to accept new and new bodies. So till the time we will be attracted to material enjoyment, we'll have to take birth repeatedly. But this human form of life is an opportunity where we can resolve this very inherent desire, this disease of material enjoyment. Because being spirit soul, material enjoyment is not natural for us. It is unnatural for us because we are spirit souls. We are spirit. We are not, by nature, we are spirit. Enjoying matter is incompatible, is unnatural for us. So the more the spirit tries to enjoy matter, the more the spirit becomes frustrated in its attempt. right? Because there is a difference of nature. Matter is of different nature. Matter is dull, temporary, miserable. Right? You can remember this time, TIME, temporary, illusory, miserable enjoyment. Material enjoyment is temporary, illusory, and miserable. TIME. So material life is temporary, illusory, and miserable. This is the nature of matter. And the nature of spirit is Sat, Chid, and Anand. This is the nature of spirit. Now, we are made of the nature of spirit. We are, by birth, we have this nature of spirit because we are spirit souls. So when an entity who is Satchid Anand tries to enjoy matter, who is temporary, illusory, and miserable, then there is frustration because there is a difference of nature. That's why people are frustrated. And the more we surround ourselves with this material objects, the more we develop or innovate material technology and material affairs and surround ourselves with this dead material objects, the more we'll become frustrated. This human form of life should be meant to transcend this material platform. Now we'll take 20th shloka. न प्रहर्षेत प्रियं प्राप्य न उद्विजेत चाप्रियं न उद्विजेत प्राप्य चाप्रियं स्थिरबुद्धिरसम्मूढो ब्रह्मविद् ब्रह्मणि स्थितः. Now here the symptoms of that liberated person are described. Till now we discussed that how one can become liberated. One can become liberated by developing a sense of equanimity, by developing a sense of equal vision, which leads to win over the cycle of accepting newer and newer bodies. Right? You understood how one can attain liberation? By developing an equal vision, which helps us to win over the cycle of accepting new and new bodies. Because so now the symptoms of that liberated person is described here. So it is said that a liberated person who has that equal vision, he neither rejoices upon achieving something nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant. He'll not be too happy to achieve something pleasant, neither too in distress when he achieves something unpleasant. So equal. He has an balanced, he has a very stable buddhi. There are no fluctuations, neither too happy nor too distressed. He has a very stable intelligence. Sthir buddhir, asammuno, brahmavid brahmani. How one develops that stable intelligence? For example, the example is given here. There was a owner and his servant. So both of them, they went to purchase lottery. So the owner, he lost the lottery, and the servant, he won 10 lakhs. So the owner went to purchase the ticket. So the owner said that you have won 10 lakhs. So the servant, when he listened that he won 10 lakhs, he became too happy and he got a heart attack and he died because he was too happy to win the 10 lakhs. So another situation, so this is what is called too happy or in too distress. Either if one is too happy, then also it's a problem, or if one is in too distress, then also it's a problem. So if a family man gets some money, then what he will think? He will think of his family. I can use this money for my family. If a social worker gets some money, what he'll think? He will think that I'll use this money for some social welfare work to help some people. If a devotee gets some money, what he'll think? I can use this money in the service of Krishna, to serve God. So there is no question of too happy or too distressed. Because for a devotee, everything has to be used in the service of Krishna. There is no personal sense gratification. But for rest, anybody apart from a devotee, he has his personal interest in that and a personal selfish interest in that. But a devotee doesn't have any personal selfish interest. He just bothered how to serve God. So if he gets some money, neither he becomes too happy because anyhow he's serving God. If he gets money, he'll serve more. If he doesn't get money, anyhow he's happy in his existing service. Whatever he's doing present, he's happy. If he gets more, he will offer more. He will put it. Now, if somebody donates me 10,000 rupees, I don't have any personal interest in that. So what I'll do, I'll take that 10,000 rupees and I'll donate it to the temple because I use everything for the service of God. So if it is 10,000 or 1 lakh, will not make any difference because now my interest is one with Krishna's interest. There is no separate interest. My interest is one with Krishna's interest. Krishna is saying, offer everything to me. Well, I am also offering everything to Krishna. So my interest is one with Krishna's interest. So there is no difference of interest. So then when there is no difference of interest, there is no hankering. There is no sense of profit or loss. There is no sense of profit. The sense of profit or loss or duality comes when my interest is different from Krishna's interest. Then there is a sense of profit or loss, that I have got something for me. Then only it's a profit. But I have not got anything for me. Then where is the question of profit? The sense of me and mine is not there. So where is the question of profit or loss? Right? Is it clear? Said how one wins over this duality of happiness and distress. Because the sense of me and mine vanishes. The sense of serving Krishna is the only parameter to do anything. So here it is said, Sthir buddhir asammudho brahmavid brahmani sthitah. So sthir buddhir asammudho. Asammudha means, sthir buddhi means it's clear. Sthir buddhi means, what is the meaning of sthir buddhi? Stable intelligence. One who doesn't fluctuates in happiness or distress. That means he has a stable intelligence. Asammudha means he is not bewildered by the body, by the attractions of the body, by the allurements of the body, but neither by his own body or any other body. He is not bewildered. Whatever the body allures or whatever the body offers, how he sees the attractions or you may experience that the mind offers very alluring, entices the soul, allures the soul, the mind, right? The mind will offer do like this, do like that, plan like this, plan like that. Always the mind is planning and is offering better and better things to allure the living entity. But how a devotee or a liberated sage, how he tolerates the allurements of the body, how he doesn't becomes bewildered? Because he sees that whatever attractions or allurements I'm facing, this is because of my past impressions which are there in the mind. This is because of my past life. I have certain impressions in my mind. Because of that, the mind is acting in a certain way. So he doesn't pay any attention to that because he considers it as his past impressions. Because of his past life, there are past impressions which are there in the mind. And if one has a very beautiful body, if a liberated sage, if he has a very beautiful body and everybody gets attracted to that beautiful body, how he will see his body? How he'll see his body. For example, a devotee has a very beautiful body, and everybody gets attracted to that beautiful body. So he'll get disturbed because of that? No. Then how he'll see his body, and how he'll see the people getting attracted to his body? Why he's not getting disturbed? What is the answer?
He thinks that it is for service of God.
Yeah, this is one thing, that he thinks that it is for the service of God. This is temporary. This is because of my past karma I have got this. There's nothing I don't have the credit for this. I'm not the generator of this body. This is because I did some past karma, I got this, and again in the next life, because of the karmas which I am performing, I'll get another body. So this is the cycle of changing bodies. So it doesn't matter. Right? Or if somebody has a good body, the devotee will become envious of it. If somebody has a more beautiful body than what I have, or more beautiful opportunity than I have, whether I'll become envious of it? No. Why? Because again, the same thing. He has got because of his past karma. He has done some good karma, and that's why he has got that. Right? So this is called asammuda. Asammuda means he's not bewildered, because he sees because he has a very broad vision. He doesn't have a very narrow vision. His vision is very broad. So when we read Bhagavad Gita, when we understand the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, we become very stable in our intelligence. Our intelligence becomes very stable, because we see the whole perspective. We will become disturbed when we are not aware of the bigger perspective, the bigger picture. When we have a very smaller picture of life, a very smaller, narrow vision of life, then we become disturbed by the temporary affairs, the temporary upheavals which happens in the life. But when we have a very broader vision of life, a very broader perspective, that is not just one life. This life is the consequence of past life. What likings and dislikings which I have now, I should not be bewildered by that, because these are just the impressions in my mind which I have been carrying from my past life. That's why I like certain things and I don't like certain things. Right? The hog will not like to eat halwa. I like to eat halwa. Why? Because of my past life, I have got certain mind, and he has got certain mind. The hog has got certain mind. So he doesn't like halwa, and I like halwa. So this liking or disliking doesn't have a basis. It is just because of our past life. We like something, and it's not that I like it. It is just that because of my past karma, I've got a mind which likes it. It's not that it is my identity. It is not my identity. You are able to understand? Liking or disliking a certain thing is not connected to my identity. It is just because of my past karma, which is influencing my mind. Right? Is it clear? So in this way, a sage is not bewildered, because he sees that everything is happening by the modes of nature, and everything is being carried out from various lives. In this way, he continues. So asammudo brahmavid brahmani sthita. So he is brahmavid. He is not just he's not getting bewildered by the temporary material affairs. At the same time, he's brahmavid. He is a realized soul. He has realized the Brahman. He has realized the absolute truth, absolute reality. He understands that I'm in a cycle of birth and death. I'm in a cycle of changing bodies. This one thing he realizes. Another thing he realizes, the absolute truth, that the real picture of life is outside of this jail, the absolute reality. He realizes that, and is very happy to see and experience the absolute reality. So he is called Brahmavid. He understands and realizes the Brahman, the real perspective of life. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram. Anybody has any question? You can ask. So today we discussed till 20th shloka. Tomorrow we'll continue. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita